Spilling the tea on my own house. Maybe this is just a roast of us. The process is very enjoyable. We're just not great at finishing. So we've officially been here a year, and I figure now is a good time to give you a home reno update, how things are going around in the house. If you're new to my home journey, you should start in our first home playlist, where I walk you through when we first bought the house, moving in, renovations, makeovers to now. And as all home renos go, things don't get done as fast as you think they do. I very much catfish my videos, and I show you very strategic angles that look good, but let me expose myself fully in this video and tell you all the things that we still haven't finished. This is my novel of all the things that we need to get done around the house and what we haven't done. Starting with the living room. So flooring before moving in was the smartest thing that we had ever done. And because we had the opportunity to adjust our moving dates, we took it and we put down all the flooring, and it was very simple, except around the areas that require transitions. And the large part of flooring is done, but what we haven't finished are quarter rounds on this floor. So this, and this, and these. So these little pieces, Steph measured the space between each and every single one before cutting it to size, because there's no way to take these out. There was another house that looked exactly like this, and when we went to see it, they had completely drywalled all of the rails, so they built a wall around it. We could do that, but it kind of loses the appeal, I feel like, and it cuts off a lot of light if you think about how high this already is. Something that we learned when we were doing renovations is that just tearing things apart willy-nilly is actually gonna add to your time and cost in the future. So if there are things that you can preserve, you should absolutely try to preserve them. We ripped up a lot of the quarter rounds that we could have put back in, but now we have to buy new quarter rounds in order to fit it back into place. And then on top of that, having wavy walls makes it extra difficult. So if you had things that were already pre-cut and pre-fitted to your place, why we just ripped it up and didn't put it back in place was beyond me. To the deck. We have a finished deck. How we got to this finished deck was hilarious. So if you watched our backyard video, we're short. This $1 million deck is now gonna cost $1,001,001. To get extra wood shipped here was $75. So we borrowed our friend's pickup truck, went to the wood yard, and bought a few more planks. Gas to put into the car, which our friend didn't ask us to put gas in, but like as a courtesy, gas was like $150.
It was still going.
Why didn't we just pay for shipping?
Only to find out that we were actually short one more plank. So then my parents have a van, and they were very gracious. We didn't think that the van would fit before, but my parents and I went to the lumber yard on a weekday, so Steph was working, and he wrote down what we needed. And I know, deck boards. Went, picked up a few extra, and like extra planks just in case. Drove all the way back, untied it from the car, carried it into the backyard, only to realize I bought the wrong deck boards. There is framing lumber, so what's underneath the deck, and then there is deck boards, finished deck boards, and I bought framing lumber. Funny story, the guy working at the lumber yard was joking with me when we first bought the deck boards, and he was like, "See you in an hour." And then when I got back, I was like, "Hey, it's been an hour. I'm back." But anyways, the deck is finally finished. It's a glorious masterpiece. We finally managed to order pavers. Pavers were backlogged for, they said up until next year, but because things died down very drastically, I managed to get in a call. She said, "Sorry, we're sold out in the color that you want." And then as I was about to order an alternate color, her coworker tapped her and was like, "Oh, my client just canceled on the color that yours wants, so you should take it." So I just so happened to get our color. So Steph and his friend worked over the weekend to move our gigantic gravel pile back into the pit. We have some adjustments to the plan, and then the pavers will be coming next week for us to officially finish the backyard. The space between the deck and the ground was a lot more. We added about this much worth of gravel, or even more because it's very tamped right now. And the pavers will be this thick, and then it'll be flush with a gravel border. It still looks like a disaster though. So in the original Reno plan idea video, I had a beautiful mock-up of the kitchen. We were thinking of knocking down all of the kitchen cabinets and replacing them. Now, having lived in it for a year, the dishwasher before, I was like, if the sink is over here and the dishwasher is over here, it doesn't make sense. A dishwasher that's not close to the sink, which is also inconvenient. All of these changes were going to be very costly. So now, in terms of rethinking and what we want to do with the kitchen and how we want to update it, is actually pared down by a lot and prioritizing what we can and can't afford. I was thinking first I'm gonna paint the kitchen, maybe paint or a light stain on the cabinets. Definitely change the hardware. I think changing the cabinet knobs is really all it takes. Big budget things would be getting a new countertop and changing the backsplash. But then in terms of layout and everything else, it's totally fine. This light is disgusting. Whoever thought of putting a chandelier in a kitchen is crazy. So this brings me to our stairs. The treads are a different color from the flooring, and there's no transition. I don't know how complicated it is to stain and try and color match that, or I'm gonna paint the rails and the stairs black. If you have input on this, let me know. Steph is like, I think black is weird and I don't think it's gonna look good. And my thought is, well, the hardware's black already. If I just paint the rails black to match it, and then I can match the stairs with black, it won't look that weird. Because we have so many steps in this house, I have to paint it all the same color, and if I paint one the wrong color, it's just gonna look very strange. So my office is pretty complete, I'd say. I added cabinets that I got off Kijiji. I made a little TikTok where I did a office makeover. The desk still needs to be changed, but otherwise I'm pretty happy with the setup already. I put in my own blinds. I think to finish it, I'll definitely add curtains as well. And then I discovered my least favorite DIY ever. It doesn't really matter if I dislike doing something because saving money always overrides my dislike. So even though it may not be the most enjoyable task, I'll still enjoy doing it because I'm saving money. This is not it. Baseboards. I will pay a professional however much money they need me to do to finish this. It breaks my brain. These ones. This is my best work. This is my least best work. Look at all the handprints. This was anger. Not even close. This, nobody tells you that you need to finish the inside of a closet. Speaking of closets, we still don't have closet doors. So I was asking Steph, why not put the closet doors back in? But he had a good point that I did not know. These floors are floating floors, and if you screw anything in, you're essentially cementing one piece down. Some things will naturally shift. If you have one piece that's screwed down, you're gonna cause a lot of buckling all around you, and it's gonna shift the entire place. We can't screw down the railings, and we either need new closet doors, or maybe, I was like, what? Maybe we can glue the railings down? One thing that we did complete ceiling lights. The two other bedrooms upstairs, there were no ceiling lights. It was very dark. There was only one sconce on one wall per room. Steph wired all of this on his own. Also gave us a dimmer. These these are definitely pluses to have. So this is my disaster of a house. Still paint sampling the hallway. I just wanted to show you that not everything is as it seems. The catfish is real when it comes to this house. In the new year, my first project to tackle is gonna be these stairs. The good news is that there's going to be a lot more makeovers for you to watch. It's very embarrassing to put this out on the internet, but it's the reality of our house. And we'll do a home reno Q&A for you all in the future as well. So if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll see you next time. Bye.